start my workout for today. All I'm using today is a set of dumbbells and my jump rope. But if you don't have dumbbells, if you don't have a jump rope, that's fine. You can do this workout right along with me, even with no exercise equipment whatsoever. I will be providing equipment-free substitutions, but you are going to be more comfortable with something soft beneath you, so definitely grab an exercise mat or a yoga mat if you have one. If you don't have a mat, a towel should suffice. And if you're working out on a carpeted floor or on grass, you probably won't need anything at all. There are timestamps in the description box down below the video, so if you would prefer to just skip straight ahead to the workout, you can go ahead and use the chapter markers to do that. But if you would like to see the exercises briefly demonstrated and explained before we begin, let's go ahead and get into that right now. So first of all, let's start with jump rope, so that I can tell you what I'm doing with my jump rope and explain to you what you can do if you don't have a jump rope. So you can see that I have Rudebecca here. Rudebecca is my adorable black jump rope with these cute little white skulls on the handles. If you would like to know where I get my jump ropes, there's a link and a coupon code in the description box down below the video. So click on the link and use coupon code Rudebecca to save an additional 10% on your jump rope. So when I jump rope, I always just kind of jog in place like this. But if you're more comfortable jumping with your feet together, that's fine. Jump with your feet together. If you're really good at jump rope, you can feel free to do a more challenging jump rope variation. It doesn't matter. Any jump rope variation you want to do is fine. If you do not have a jump rope, you can just pantomime jumping rope. So you can hold on to a couple of imaginary handles, jump over your imaginary rope, either with your feet together, or if you want to do it like I do it, you can kind of jog in place. If you're jogging in place, though, you don't necessarily have to pretend to be jumping over a rope. You can just jog in place. You can do high knees. You can do jumping jacks, side jump lunges, mountain climbers, pendulum. Any type of cardio exercise you want to do is fine. So if you don't have a jump rope, my jump rope sections are just going to be 1 minute long. So any kind of cardio exercise that you can realistically sustain for 1 minute intervals will work. So that covers jump rope. Now, moving on to our other 4 exercises. So my dumbbells that I'm using for this workout today, for reference and for reference only, these are 10-pound dumbbells. So that's a good weight for me. That's going to challenge me today. You may need to use something lighter than that. You may need to use something heavier. That depends on your strength. It depends on your level of fitness. It depends on what you have available to you, and it depends on how hard you're looking to push yourself today. So please consider all of those factors when choosing your weights and make the decision that is best for you. Of course, if you do not have anything that's going to work for weight, or you just don't want to add weight to the workout, that's fine. You don't need to add weight. So this is going to be a slap workout, SLAP, and that stands for squats, lunges, abs, and push-ups. This is an idea that I got from my friend Sarah years and years ago. So it's for those days when you just can't think of what to do, or when you're super pressed for time and you just need to squeeze in a quick workout. Just do a slap workout. It takes away all of the thinking, all right? So just pick any variation of squats, any variation of lunges, any ab exercise you want to do, and any push-up variation you want to do, and throw a workout together. I'm super pressed for time today. My brain was only thinking of super long workouts, so I thought, let me just do a quick slap workout today. So that's what I threw together. This workout is going to be super short, only 10 minutes long. So it's going to be a slap and skip workout because I'm adding a little bit of cardio. So for my squat variation, I am going to be doing one of my favorite exercises. If you follow my workouts regularly, you definitely have seen this exercise many times before. The nickname is squat, hinge, and fly. So if you already know what I'm talking about, you can just skip ahead because you know squat, hinge, and fly very well. But basically what it is going to be a weighted squat, and then we are going to add a bent over fly. So it's going to look like this. First of all, whatever squat variation you're doing, you want to make sure that you're minding your form. So you want to start by tucking your shoulder blades into your back pockets. That means your shoulders are back and down. Chest is lifted nice and high. Keep that chest lifted high. And then before you think about squatting, what you want to do is think about hinging at the hips so that your knees don't end up out over your toes, okay? So push your booty back like you're trying to touch the wall behind you with your booty. And remember to keep your chest lifted high. So at the same time, think about trying to touch the wall in front of you with your chest so that your spine is elongated, your back is flat. Don't allow your back to round. Tuck the shoulder blades into the back pockets, lift that chest up high, push the booty back. Now my back is flat and all my weight is in my heels. I can actually pick up my toes. And from here is where you can sink down into your squat. All right, so if you want to just do basic air squats, that's all you're going to do. Shoulders back and down, chest is high. Tighten up those abs, make sure your abs are engaged. Push the booty back. Remember, you're hinging at the hips. Flat back, weight in the heels as you sink into your squat, and then press your heels into the ground to stand. All right, so that's just a basic air squat. You can do air squats, you can do any squat variation you want with or without weight. Those bullet points, flat back, weight in the heels, are going to apply to pretty much any squat variation you do, so just make sure you're minding your form. I'm going to be holding onto just one dumbbell for this. So I'm going to hold my dumbbell in one hand. I'm going to take my free hand and place it over the top of the hand that's actually holding onto the dumbbell. And I'm going to start just holding my dumbbell in the middle like this. And I'm going to come down into my squat. So shoulders are back and down. I'm tightening my abs and pushing my booty back. Back is flat, weight is in the heels as I sink down into my squat. Now, remember the nickname of this exercise is squat, hinge, and fly. So instead of returning to my standing position, what I'm going to do is hinge at the hips. So I'm just going to straighten my legs, essentially straighten my legs. There's still going to be a soft bend to my legs, but I'm not going to stand up. So I'm going to squat and I'm going to straighten my knees, more or less. I'm not locking out my knees. I'm not actively trying to straighten my legs. You want to make sure there's a soft bend to your knees, but they are more or less straight. You're not down here anymore. But I'm hinging at the hips so that I'm in this bent over position so that I can do my bent over fly. So ideally, you want to see if you can get your torso parallel to the ground, work to your own level, and then from here, I'm going to let go with my top hand. You can put your arm out to the side. You can put your hand behind your head, on your hip. I always just kind of place my hand behind my back. Whatever's comfortable for you. The point is that you're letting go with this hand, and then with the hand that's holding onto the dumbbell, you're just going to do a bent over fly. So you're lifting the weight more or less straight out to the side. Now again, for this, you want to make sure you're not locking out your elbow. We're not doing this with a straight arm. Soft bend to the elbow, and then lift that weight out to the side and bring it back. Make sure the movement's under control. Then you'll place this hand, your free hand, place it over the other hand again, and then you'll hinge at the hips to stand. Return to your starting position, and we'll stay on the same side. So for the entire work interval, you're going to keep this hand on the dumbbell, and this will be your free hand, all right? So all put together, it looks like this. Squat, hinge, and fly. Now hinge at the hips to stand and return to your starting position. Squat, let go with your top hand as you straighten the legs and hinge at the hips. Now you're bent over fly, so make sure there's a soft bend in your knees, soft bend in your elbow as you lift that weight out to the side and then bring it back down. Now place your free hand back over the top of your other hand. Press your heels into the ground and hinge at the hips to stand. Squat, hinge, and fly. All right? So just keep saying that to yourself over and over again. Squat, hinge, fly, squat, hinge, fly. So that's my squat variation. Remember, you can do any squat variation you want with or without weight. Just mind your form, make sure your back stays flat, make sure your weight stays in your heels. So next, SLAP, so our L is for lunges. I'm going to be combining what I always call a dragon lunge, but it's really not a dragon lunge, so I'm trying to get into the habit of calling it a curtsy lunge because that's what everyone else calls it. So if I say dragon lunge at any point, just know that what I mean is curtsy lunge, but I'm going to show you what it looks like anyway. So we're going to be combining a curtsy lunge with a reverse lunge. So for your curtsy lunge, what you want to do is imagine that you are standing in a box and you want to take your foot, take one foot, and you're trying to touch the opposite back corner of your box. Okay, so I'm in my box. So back here where my gas meter is, that's the back corner of my box. I'm going to pick up this foot. I'm going to lunge back and diagonally across my body, bringing my foot towards the gas meter, like I'm trying to touch this corner of my box with my toes. And then from here, I'm going to bend both knees and come down into my lunge. And now I'm going to go right into my reverse lunge. So I'm not stepping the foot back and returning to my starting position. I'm going right from here into a reverse lunge. So I'm just moving my foot from this back corner of my box to kind of the center back line of the back line of my box, if that makes sense, all right? And then I'm gonna go right back into my curtsy lunge. So it's going to look like this: curtsy lunge, reverse lunge. Now right back into my curtsy lunge. We're just gonna stay right here. It's super tough. It looks like nothing, but it's really, really hard, okay? So do your best. The work intervals aren't too long, but they're not super short either. We're on 30-second work intervals. So if at any point you need to kind of step your foot forward, take a second to shake out the legs, that's fine. Just do your best to get right back into it. But that is my lunge variation. So again, with your lunges, just make sure your shoulders are back and down, make sure your chest stays lifted high, make sure your abs are always super strong and tight and engaged, and make sure that the weight stays in your heels. Make sure the movement is always under control. So when I say weight in your heel, what I mean is that as you're back here in your lunge, you want to make sure that the knee of your front leg is over the heel of your front foot as opposed to being out over your toes like this. All right, so just always think flat back, weight in the heel. So again, we're going to stay on one side for the entire 30-second work interval, and then we will switch sides. All right, so for your next work interval, you just switch sides, lunging diagonally and back across, back and diagonally across your body with the opposite leg. Bend both knees, come down into your lunge, and now press your heel into the ground to stand. Bring this back foot behind you, straight behind you for a reverse lunge. Then right back into your curtsy lunge, reverse lunge. Make sure the movement is under control. You don't want to bang that knee into the ground. All right, if you need to shorten up your range of motion, that's fine. You don't have to tap the ground with your back knee. Just again, work to your own level. Please do not push your body into doing anything that it is not ready to do. But that's my lunge variation, curtsy lunge plus a reverse lunge. Again, you do any lunge variation that works for you with or without weight. I'm going to be holding onto my dumbbells while I do that, but I'm just holding them at my side. I'm not doing anything with my upper body as far as like I'm not going to curl the weights or press them up overhead or anything like that. Just going to be holding my weights to my side as I do this, just to increase the difficulty a little bit. But it's the same exercise, so if you want to hold on to something for weight, great. Dumbbells obviously work, but if you don't have dumbbells, look for household items that will work. So you could grab a couple of water bottles or shampoo bottles, fill them with water, or if you want, you might be able to make them a little bit heavier by filling them with something like uncooked rice, dried beans or lentils, kitty litter, powdered laundry detergent, something like that. So just get creative and use what you've got, as long as you can find something that you can maintain a secure grip on so that you're not going to drop it on yourself and hurt yourself. You're not going to break something or make a mess. And as long as it's not too heavy for you, then pretty much anything will work for weight. If you want to take your workout to the beach or the park or the hiking trail or something like that, you can even grab a couple of kind of heavy rocks. So again, just get creative and use what you've got. And if you don't have anything that's going to work for weight, or you just don't want to add weight, that's fine. Just do the exercise without any added weight. But that covers lunges. So we've already covered jump rope. That just leaves our A and our P, so abs and push-ups. So moving on to abs, I'm going to be doing side crunches. So again, I'll show you this without the weights first. This will be your equipment-free modification. So if you want to keep this a body weight workout, you're just going to do this. We just did this exercise like 2 days ago. Didn't we do this on Monday, I believe? So you're going to come down onto your mat on your side. Knees are bent and your bottom arm is on the mat for support. I'm going to take my top hand and just place it behind my head, and then I'm just going to crunch. So it's just a crunch, but you're on your side as you do your crunch. So you're targeting your obliques right here. So I'm going to lift my knees, I'm going to lift my torso, bringing my elbow to meet this top knee, and then control the movement on the way down. Super simple. It's just crunches from your side. Hence the name, side crunches. So some people find this very taxing on their hip. So if you find it uncomfortable, you might be able to just double up your mat a couple of times, or you could grab a towel, like fold up a towel or a blanket or something to place under your hip, or a throw pillow or a seat cushion or something like that. If it's still uncomfortable, then again, the beauty of the slap workout is that you can do any ab exercise you want. I'm targeting obliques, so if you want to target your obliques, you can do Russian twists. So with or without weight, you can be here, just twist and tap, heels on the mat to make it a bit easier, heels elevated to increase the difficulty a little bit, holding on to weight to increase the difficulty. So 1 or 2 dumbbells, household items, a kettlebell, medicine ball, a jug of laundry detergent, any kind of weight will work, but you can do it with or without weight. If you don't want to get down on the ground, you can do your abs standing. So you can do your side crunches from a standing position, hold on to the wall for support if you need to, or a chair or your dining room table, the arm of your couch. All right, and then just extend one leg out to the side, bring your free hand behind your head and just crunch. Same thing, bringing knee to elbow. So there's some equipment-free modifications and some beginner modifications, a standing modification if you can't get down on the ground, all right? But I am going to be doing side crunches and I'm going to be adding weight. So all I'm going to do is grab 1 dumbbell and I'm going to hold my dumbbell up here by my shoulder and then crunch, bringing my dumbbell towards that top knee. Same exercise, just holding onto a dumbbell. Push-ups. I'm going to be doing weighted Santana push-ups. Again, for this exercise, I'm using just 1 dumbbell. So I'm going to grab a hold of my dumbbell with one hand, and with the opposite hand, I'm just going to have this hand placed flat on the ground. I'm going to come up into my plank position, and I'm going to do my push-up like this with just one hand on the dumbbell. And then I'm going to pick up my dumbbell and row it up towards my shoulder as I rotate into a side plank. And then I'm going to press the dumbbell up overhead, and then I'll reverse the movement. So bring the dumbbell back down to the shoulder, rotate back into my plank, and place the dumbbell down. That's it. Staying on the same side for the entire 30-second work interval. So again, we'll do 30 seconds on this side. Switch. So bring your dumbbell towards the opposite hand, grab a hold of the dumbbell with this hand now, place the other hand flat on the ground. Push up with one hand on the dumbbell. And now, row the dumbbell up towards the shoulder, rotate into a side plank, press the weight up overhead, bend the elbow, bring the weight back down to the shoulder with control, rotate back into your plank position and place the weight back down with control, okay? Make sure you're not just letting the weight fall down. You wanna make sure every aspect of the movement is under control. So that's it, super simple. Just please exercise caution if your dumbbells are rounded on the ends. So my dumbbells are hex dumbbells, that means they're flat on the bottom. So this provides me with some extra stability while I'm holding onto the dumbbell in a plank position. And I have more or less half of my weight on the dumbbell. Now, you do have your other hand flat on the floor of the ground for stability, but still just be careful, okay? Be smart. Be safe, work to your own level, and just make the decision that is best for you. So if you have dumbbells that are rounded on the ends, you might want to modify this exercise by doing your push-up with both hands flat on the floor or the ground, and then picking up your weight, rowing it up to your shoulder, pressing it up overhead, rotate back into your plank pose, let go, and do another push-up with both hands flat on the ground. So that is a modification I recommend that you consider if you are using household items for weight, like shampoo bottles or water bottles, or if your dumbbells are rounded on the ends. And of course, if you just if you don't have dumbbells but you have a kettlebell, you could absolutely do this with a kettlebell as well. That would be a great exercise. And with your kettlebell, you can absolutely hold on to the handle. The kettlebell is flat on the bottom and it should provide you sufficient stability. But if that's too difficult, you can do the push-up with both hands flat on the ground and then pick up your kettlebell, row it, press it up overhead. So whatever's going to work for you, but that is my push-up variation. If you don't have weights or you just don't want to add weight, just do Santana push-ups without any added weight, super simple. So if you would like to do your Santana push-ups without any added weight, it's going to look just a little bit different because there's nothing to row. So instead of rowing our weight up to the shoulder first, we can just keep this arm straight and rotate right into our side plank. Super simple, okay? So it's going to be a push-up plus a side plank. So pick up one hand, straighten the arm, rotate into your side plank, and now rotate back, return to your starting position, right into your next push-up. Push-up, side plank. Super simple. Staying on one side for the entire 30-second interval, and then with the next 30-second interval, you will rotate into your side plank in the opposite direction. All right, if that's too difficult for you, you can do these from your knees. So you can do your push-up from your knees, and then as you rotate into your side plank, what you're going to do is keep your bottom knee bent, extend your top leg, and you can do this side plank with your knee on the mat to assist you, okay? Then rotate back into your starting position, knee push-up, knee assisted side plank. So you're extending the top leg straight, bottom knee stays bent, and on the mat for support. Push up, side plank, all right? If it's still too difficult, the knee assisted side plank, remember, any push-up variation you want to do is fine. So if you just want to practice your knee push-ups, great. If you want, you can do like a knee push-up into child's pose. If you're a super duper beginner and you need a few seconds to recover in between your push-ups. All right, really any push-up variation you want to do is fine as long as you're minding your form. So our bullet points for our squats and our lunges was flat back, weight in the heels. For our push-ups, there are 3 bullet points that I want you to remember. The first bullet point, head in line with the spine. Bullet point number 2, shoulders away from the ears. And our third bullet point is flat back. So when we said flat back with our squats and our lunges, what we were trying to avoid is a rounded back. What we're trying to avoid with the push-ups is the opposite of that. You want to avoid having an arch in your back. So as you fatigue, it's going to be very easy to allow your hips or your belly to kind of droop down towards the mat like this. But do you see how that is causing an arch in my back? So we want to get rid of that. We want a flat back. In order to do that, what you're going to do is tighten up your abs and then use your ab muscles to lift your hips high and keep them lifted high. If your hips are lifted all the way up here and they're slightly elevated, I don't want you to worry too much about that because in that position, your back is flat. So I would rather have your hips slightly elevated as opposed to down here, which is causing an arch in your back. So make sure your abs are super tight. Imagine someone's about to come along and punch you in the stomach as hard as they can and you're bracing for that impact, okay? Really tighten up your abs. Use your ab muscles to lift your hips high and keep them high. Don't stress if they're up here, but ideally you want your body to be in one perfectly straight line from your heels all the way to your shoulders. That's what you're going for. You want to literally think of your body like it's a plank of wood. All right, and then your other 2 bullet points, head in line with the spine, shoulders away from the ears. So here's what I mean by that. First of all, if you imagine that you are standing with your back up against the wall and just gently pressing the back of your head into the wall, that's where your head should be. All right, so make sure your head is in line with your spine and make sure it stays still. Keep your head still. You don't want to be bobbing your head up and down as you fatigue. And then when I say shoulders away from your ears, this is a very common mistake. It happens as you fatigue, but it also just happens if you lack enough upper body strength or enough core strength to do the push-ups from your toes. what you might find is that you start sinking down into your shoulders like this. Do you see how my shoulders are kind of hunched up by my ears? To fix this, you want to spread out all 10 fingers and push the ground away from you. Push yourself up nice and high in your plank so that your shoulders are away from your ears. So if you find that you're sinking into your shoulders like this, you might need to put your knees down for the push-ups. Okay, so again, work to your own level. But any push-up variation you want to do either from your toes or from your knees is absolutely fine, with or without weight. Absolutely fine. All right, just do whatever's going to work for you, but regardless of whatever push-up variation you choose, please remember head in line with the spine, shoulders away from the ears, and flat back. You want your body to stay in one perfectly straight line as you lower your chest as close to the mat as you can get it, and as you press the mat away from you to push yourself back up into your starting position. All right, if you can't get your chest all the way down to the mat, don't worry about it. Just come as close as you can, but don't break that one straight line from your heels to your shoulders. So if you cannot get your chest all the way down to the mat, make sure you're not compensating by lowering your hips or your belly down to the mat. Make sure you're not trying to trick yourself into thinking you're getting all the way down by lowering your forehead down to the mat, all right? Make sure that your body stays in that straight line from your heels all the way to your shoulders. And that's it. That's all for exercises. So now here's the format. I already kind of alluded to it, but I think I mentioned this workout's only going to be 10 minutes long. And I mentioned that we're on 30-second intervals. So you probably have figured out what the format is already, but if you haven't, let me go ahead and clarify. We are starting with squats. So we're doing squat, hinge, fly, 30 seconds on one side, 30 seconds on the other side. Then we're moving on to lunges. Curtsy lunge, reverse lunge combo. 30 seconds on one leg, then we'll switch and do 30 seconds on the other leg, and then we'll move on to abs. I am doing side crunches, so I'll do 30 seconds on one side, then I'll flip over, do 30 seconds of weighted side crunches on the other side, and then I'll do my Santana push-ups, 30 seconds on one side, 30 seconds on the other side, and then 2 intervals of jump rope. All right, so I'm going to grab my jump rope, start jumping rope, and then my timer's gonna beep to end my first 30-second interval, but I'm going to keep going. I'm going to do 2 intervals of jump rope. So that's 5 minutes. We've spent 30 seconds on each side for each of our SLAP exercises, our slap exercises. So that's 4 minutes, and then we're going to do 2 30-second intervals of jump rope. So that's 5 minutes. So we're just gonna repeat the whole thing once more. Start again at the top with squats, 30 seconds on each side, and we'll spell the word slap, S-L-A-P. So then we'll move on to lunges, 30 seconds on each leg. A for abs, 30 seconds on each side. P for push-ups, 30 seconds with each arm, and then we'll finish with 2 final 30-second intervals of jump rope, and that's it. That is our 10 minutes. So it is a super simple format. I have a knack for making things sound more complicated when I explain them than they really are. So if that sounded complicated, it's not. I promise it's not. Please remember that I always take the time to type out the instructions in the description box down below the video, and I'm going to do the entire workout right along with you. So watch me do it, read the instructions. But then of course, as always, if anything is unclear with the format and how it all fits together, if you have questions about any of the exercises that we are doing today, if you have any doubts about how to do these exercises with the correct form, or if you need any further help with equipment-free substitutions or beginner modifications, please remember that I'm always here to help. So please ask questions if you have them. It's really important that you understand what you're asking your body to do. You want to really make sure that you understand how to do the exercises correctly before you begin the workout, so that you reduce your risk of injury, and also just so that you make sure you're getting the maximum benefit out of each exercise. And you guys also know that it's incredibly important to me that all of my workouts are always accessible to anyone and everyone who wants to do them with me. So I'm always here to help facilitate that. Please don't hesitate to reach out if you have questions or if you need help. That being said, if you are a super duper ultra day 1 beginner, I'm going to recommend that you try my slap challenge that I did earlier this year. This year was actually my 6th year in a row doing the challenge But this year I went out of my way to make sure that the challenge was accessible to super duper ultra day one beginners. So if you've never done a workout before, a day in your life, you've never done a squat, you have no idea how to do lunges, you think you can't do push-ups, yes you can. So today is Wednesday, and as long as you start my challenge, my slap challenge on a Wednesday, everything will fall into place. There's a playlist. It's super easy to follow along. So if you are an ultra super duper day one beginner and you want to try my slap challenge, I'm going to link the playlist for the slap challenge up here in the iCard. It will also be linked in the description box down below the video, and I'll link it at the very end of the video as well, just so that you can't miss it. But check that out. Just start by watching that day one video and give me the chance to convince you that you can do the challenge. You can do squats, you can do push-ups. I promise, okay? We can find variations of those exercises that you absolutely can do. It's a 40-day challenge, so it's a lot. It's 40 squats, 40 lunges, 40 reps of an ab exercise, and 40 push-ups a day, every single day except Sundays for 40 days. But if you can't commit to doing all 40 days, that's fine. Just do 20 days. Do every other day of the challenge, okay? Do what's going to work for you, but I strongly recommend it. It's a great way to get stronger. It's a great way to start building that habit, really establishing that habit of daily exercise. So if you are a super duper beginner, I really hope you will check out that link. If you're more advanced, but you still want to do the challenge, I'm going to recommend that you try the slap challenge that I did, what was it, I guess last year or the year before. But it's the same challenge in the sense that it's still 40 squats, at least 40 squats, I should say, because we were frequently doing more than just those 160 reps when I did the more advanced version of the challenge a couple years ago. So it was at least 40 squats, at least 40 lunges, at least 40 reps of an ab exercise, and at least 40 push-ups a day, every single day except Sundays for 40 days. And usually I was adding cardio to the workouts as well, like about 20 minutes or so of moderate paced cardio in addition to the slap reps. So if you're more advanced and you want to do the challenge, but you want it to really, really challenge you, then I'm going to recommend that you try the more advanced version of the challenge. I will link that up here in the iCard as well. And again, I will link it in the description box down below the video and at the very end of the video, just to make sure that you can't miss it. So the slap challenge is a great challenge. Like I said, I've done it 6 years in a row now. But in general, even if you don't want to commit to doing 40 days of the challenge, it's still a great thing to kind of have this in your back pocket, these little slap workouts. So thank you to my friend Sarah for coming up with this idea and allowing me to steal it over and over and over again. So remember that if you're traveling, if there's a day that you just are, really pressed for time, or you just can't think of what you want to do, slap. Just do a slap workout. Choose any squat variation, any lunge variation, any type of ab exercise you want to do, and any variation of push-ups that you want to do, and you can throw together a workout so quickly and so easily without having to think too much and without having to get too crazy, without needing any equipment. So these slap workouts are such a great thing to have. So ask questions if you have them. Make sure that you understand how to do the exercises correctly. And so especially if you're working out along with the video, I just want to remind you to please make sure that you are working to your own level. So that means choosing a set of dumbbells or household items or whatever you're using that are an appropriate weight for you, nothing too heavy. So if you start with something, 10-pound weights and they become too heavy, maybe have a lighter set of weights on standby just in case you need to drop down. Or remember that if the weight becomes too taxing, you can always just drop the added weight altogether. So it means shortening up your range of motion if necessary. So if you can't squat super low, just come down as low into the squat as you can while maintaining that flat back, while making sure the weight is in your heels. Same thing with your lunges. If you can't tap your knee to the ground, you can just be here instead, all right? So shorten up your range of motion. Don't push your body into doing anything that it is not ready to do. And make sure that you're going at your own pace. So if you are in great shape, you're almost certainly going to be faster than I am. You're going to be completing more reps per work interval than what you're going to see me do, and that's fantastic. as long as you're not losing anything off of your form to get there. All right, so make sure that you're minding your form. That's the most important thing. It's always better to do fewer reps with excellent form than to do lots and lots of sloppy reps. Okay, so by that same token, if you're slower than I am, that is also fantastic, because you wouldn't even know that you were slower than I am unless you were out here putting in the work and doing the reps. So don't worry about how fast you're going, worry about your form, worry that you're doing the exercises correctly. Do not race to keep up with me, okay? Just go at your own pace. Never sacrifice your form for speed. Again, just please be smart, be safe, listen to your body, make the decision that is best for you, and always just do your best. Please remember that your best is always good enough, so let your best be good enough. Hopefully I have covered everything and then some. Again, today I wanted this tutorial to be super duper short, and it ended up not being super duper short, but that's me. I know that there are people who tell me they appreciate all of the instructions, so hopefully you're one of them, but if not, good news, it's over. We're ready to go ahead and begin the workout. So if you are ready to start, go ahead and grab your jump rope if you have one, and if you're jumping rope with me today, grab a set of dumbbells or shampoo bottles or water bottles, something to use for weight if you're adding weight to the workout. If you don't have anything that's going to work for weight, or you just don't want to add weight to the workout, that's fine, you don't need to. But if you are adding weight, grab a set of dumbbells or a kettlebell, household items, whatever you've got available to you. Make sure that you have something soft beneath you. So an exercise mat or a yoga mat is ideal. Again, if you don't have a mat, a towel should suffice. If you're working out on a carpeted floor or on grass, you may not need anything at all. Also keep in mind that if your hip bothers you when you do the side crunches, or if you're doing knee push-ups, you might want a little added protection for your knees or for your hips. So in addition to your mat, maybe grab a towel and fold it up, or again, you could grab a seat cushion or a throw pillow, and then pause the video, go get dressed, meet me right back here. We're going to start with a quick 5-minute warm-up, and then we'll get right into this super short but super intense and super tough 10-minute HIIT workout. All right, so as soon as you're ready, let's get started with our 5-minute warm-up. So you're going to begin by just allowing your head to fall towards one shoulder. Place your hand on top of your head and just rest it there. Make sure your arm is relaxed. You're not actively pulling your ear down towards your shoulder. You're just relaxing your arm and allowing gravity to do all the work of just gently stretching the other side of your neck by just using the weight of your arm. Now switch sides, so allow your head to fall towards the opposite shoulder. And again, you're going to place your hand on your head and just rest it there. Make sure your arm is relaxed. Make sure your shoulders are relaxed as well. So don't allow your shoulders to creep up by your ears. Shoulders should be back and down. And now we're going to roll your head from side to side. So rolling your head from one shoulder to the other. And each time you roll your head back and forth, just start to feel your head getting heavier and heavier, allowing your range of motion to increase. Your arms are nice and loose, like a rag doll, and your entire torso is just gonna fall down in front of you. Now we're just gonna roll the shoulders back. So exaggerate the movement, really make those circles as big as you possibly can. Explore your full range of motion. And next we're going to step the feet out so that they're a little bit wider than shoulder width apart. And now you're going to bend your knees, sweep your hands in front of you, and as you straighten the legs, you're straightening the legs all the way, locking out those knees and reaching up as high as you can. Each time you bend your knees, allowing your range of motion to increase a little more, sinking deeper and deeper into that squat. Now keep your feet planted right where they are. We're going to lunge side to side, nice and easy. So remember to keep your back flat, keep the weight in your heels. And now add the arms. So throwing your arm across the room with each lunge. Now we're going to march in place. So you're gonna step the feet in and just march, starting with the knees low. But gradually, as the interval progresses, you're going to start driving your knees up higher and higher towards your chest until finally you're driving your knees up as high as they can go. Feel a little stretch in your glutes. And now we're just gonna jog in place. So just a nice light jog. Again, starting with the knees low, and then gradually driving your knees up higher and higher towards your chest. until finally you're driving your knees up as high as you possibly can towards your chest. Next is booty kicks. So it's still just a nice light jog, but now with each step, you're just bringing your heel behind you. Really, really try to kick yourself in the booty with your heel. If you struggle with balance, you may need to hold onto the wall or a chair for support. If not, just place your hands on your hips, transfer your weight into one foot, pick up the other foot, and just swing the leg front and back. Nice and loose, waking up those hip flexors. We're gonna do the same thing on the other side. So you place this foot down, transfer your weight, pick up the opposite foot, and swing the leg front and back. You can start low, and then you can gradually start increasing your range of motion, kicking that leg higher and higher if it feels comfortable for you. Now we're gonna transfer our weight again. So you'll place this foot down, transfer your weight, pick up the opposite foot, extend the leg out in front of you. Bring the leg around and behind, just making a little semicircle. Lifting that leg higher and higher each time, and then finally you're gonna drive the knee up in front of you. Use your hand to guide it around for a hip circle. Other side. Two hip circles, drive the knee up. Use your hand to guide it around, and we'll finish with a quick hamstring stretch. So I'm going to use this post to assist me. You can use the wall of the chair or the arm of your couch. But you want to try to keep your back as flat as possible so that you isolate your hamstrings more effectively. And if you use the wall or a chair or something like that, it just can make it a little bit more comfortable, make the stretch a little bit more accessible, make it a little easier to get into the stretch while maintaining that flat back. But that's it, that's our 5-minute warm up. So let's go ahead and get right into the workout. My timer is set for 20 rounds of one 30-second interval. That's our 10 minutes. There's no designated rest interval, so just do your best to move directly from one exercise to the next as quickly as you can so that you lose as little time as possible off of your next work interval. We are starting with our squat variation. So whatever squat variation you're doing with or without weight is fine. I'm going to be doing a weighted sumo squat with a bent over fly. So remember, squat, hinge, fly. We'll stay on one side for our first 30-second interval, and then we'll switch sides before moving on to lunges, all right? So as soon as you're ready, here we go. There's no rest interval, so as soon as I start my timer, you're going to get right into your squats. I'm starting my timer in 3, 2, 1, and go. So squat, hinge, and fly. Squat, hinge, fly. Other side, squat, hinge, and fly. So just transferring the dumbbell into the other hand, same exercise. Next is lunges. So I'm going to hold on to both of my dumbbells. I'm just holding my dumbbells at my sides, and I'm going to do a curtsy lunge right into a reverse lunge. Staying on the same leg. So the foot is just moving to this back corner of the box and then behind me. Told you it's super tough. Other leg. So other side, curtsy lunge, reverse lunge. After this, we'll go right into abs. So I'm going to drop one weight. I'm doing side crunches, so quickly down onto your side and crunch. Bringing the dumbbell towards the top knee. As quickly as you can. Other side. So that's our S, our L, and our A. Now for P, push-ups. Santana push-ups, with or without weight. So push up with one hand on the dumbbell, row the dumbbell, press it up overhead. Other side. So move the dumbbell over, push up, row the dumbbell, press it up overhead. Okay, weight down. Grab your jump rope. If you're not jumping rope, just do any kind of cardio exercise you want. You can pantomime jumping rope. You can jog in place. Do high knees, jumping jacks. But it's 2 intervals of cardio. So that's our first 30-second interval. Keep going. And then after this, we'll start again. Just gonna repeat the whole thing once more. So starting again with squats. All right, pick up on weight. Squat, hinge, and fly. Lunges. lunges. Keep pushing. Finishing up. With jump rope. Keep going. That's our 10 minutes. I told you it was going to be super tough. We are not quite finished yet. No workout of mine is ever complete until we have done our bonus burpee. So we have just 1 rep left to go. But first, whenever I do a workout that incorporates jump rope, in addition to my bonus burpee, I also like to do a bonus set of 100 with my jump rope. So if you would like to join me, this is completely optional. The bonus burpee is mandatory, but the bonus set of jump rope is completely optional. So if you would like to join me, any style of jump rope you want to do is fine. We're just counting 100 revolutions of the jump rope. If you don't want to do the bonus set of jump rope, that's fine. Just take another minute to catch your breath. Cheer me on. Hope that I can get through this without tripping over my jump rope, and then we'll do our bonus burpee together. If you would like to join me, here we go. We're just counting 100 revolutions of the jump rope. I'll wait for the plane so I don't have to shout over it. So when you're ready, here we go. Counting like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then it's 100. That's our bonus set of jump rope. And now we have just 1 rep left to go. Let's go ahead and do our bonus burpee together, and then the workout will be officially complete. So as soon as you're ready, here we go, final rep of the day. All right, with that, the workout is now officially complete. So let's just do a quick cool down together. Just want to move around for a couple minutes after the workout while you allow your breathing to normalize and while you allow your heart rate to come down a little bit. So you can just kind of pace around back and forth, that's fine. You can shake out the legs. Let's do a quick shoulder stretch. So just bringing one arm across your body, use the other arm to pull it in tight towards your chest. Make sure that your straight arm is completely relaxed. Make sure your shoulder is relaxed so that you can stretch it effectively. And just keep moving. I always just kind of shift my weight from foot to foot, but you can shake out the legs if that works better for you. You can pace. Shake out, let's get the shoulder on the other side. So bringing the opposite arm across your body, using your other arm to pull it in tight towards your chest. Keep moving and keep focusing on your breathing. You want to try to slow down your breathing. So think about breathing all the way down to your belly button. So if you find that your breathing is shallow and your chest is rising and falling, I want you to really visualize your diaphragm being pulled down. Allow your rib cage to expand. Imagine filling up your entire torso with air. Breathe all the way down to your belly button. And then use your diaphragm to expel the air with control. All right, so part of the cool down is that we're trying to regulate our breathing again. So just really stay focused on taking long, deep, controlled breaths, okay? So let's do a quick tricep stretch. Bend one elbow. Place your hand on the elbow and just gently pull your elbow towards the opposite shoulder, making sure that the fingers of your free hand are pointing straight down to the ground. You want to avoid having this free hand hanging out up here somewhere by your shoulder. So point those fingers straight down as you gently pull the elbow towards the opposite shoulder. Feel that nice stretch in your triceps. Shake out the legs. One more deep breath here. And come out. Shake out the arms. And let's get the triceps on the other side. So bending the opposite elbow, place your hand on the elbow and gently pull your elbow towards the opposite shoulder. Fingers of your free hand are pointing straight down at the ground. And you're continuing to focus on your breathing. So sending that breath all the way down to your belly button. Controlling the air on the way out. And make sure you're continuing to move. Either pace around, shake out the legs, or just shift your weight from foot to foot. Come out, shake out the arms, and we'll finish with a quick quad stretch. So if you struggle with balance, you can hold onto the wall or a chair for support. You're going to bend one knee, bring the foot behind you, and reach back. Grab a hold of the top of your foot with the hand on the same side. If you're holding onto something for support, you'll stay right here. If you're not holding onto anything for support, you can reach back and grab a hold of the top of your foot with both hands. Press your heel into your booty cheek. And make sure you're tilting your pelvis forward as you do that so that you intensify that stretch in your quad muscles and feel the stretch extend all the way up to your hip flexors. One more deep, controlled breath here. And come out. Shake it out. Let's get the other side. So bending the opposite knee. Bring the foot behind you, reach back and grab a hold of the top of your foot with one hand if you're holding onto something for support. If not, you can grab it with both hands. Press, press, press that heel into your booty cheek. Make sure you're tilting your pelvis forward, so kind of tucking your booty underneath you and sucking your belly button back towards your spine. Imagine trying to touch your spine with your belly button. And as you're doing that, make sure you're continuing to really press that heel into your booty cheek. You need to combine both of those two elements in order to maximize the effectiveness of this stretch as you isolate your quads more effectively and in order to feel that stretch continue all the way up to your hip flexors. One more deep breath here. And come out, shake it out. Shake out the legs, shake out the wrists, shake out the arms. swing the arms a little bit, and that's it. That's our little cool down. So if you feel like you're still breathing heavily, if you feel like you're still taking short, shallow breaths, if your heart rate is still elevated, just take a few more minutes to pace around. You can do a little more light stretching. That's a great idea. Just keep in mind that this little bit of light stretching that we do during the cool down does not take the place of a proper stretching routine. It's still really important to make sure that you are taking a good 15 or 20 minutes every day to stretch if you can, okay? I know that's a time commitment. It's better to do a little bit of stretching. I even have a 5-minute stretching routine that you can try. It's always better to do something than nothing, but ideally you want to be taking a good 15 or 20 minutes every day to stretch. It's really important because it's going to help alleviate any muscle soreness that you might be experiencing after the workouts. It's also going to help reduce your risk of injury moving forward. And of course, it's going to improve your flexibility. If you have time to do your stretching right now, immediately after the workout, that's always going to be the most efficient and the most effective time to get your stretching done because your muscles are already nice and warm from the workout. But if you don't have time to stretch right now, first of all, if you can afford to just take 5 minutes to stretch, you can always do my 5-minute stretching routine. I will link it up in the iCard. It will also be linked in the description box down below the video, and I will link it at the very end of the video as well, just so that you can't miss it. So you can always do that quick little 5-minute stretching routine if that's really all you have time for today. But if you have time later on in the day to do your stretching routine, a full 15 or 20-minute stretching routine, that's better. Just remember that your muscles will have gotten cold again, so you're going to need to take a few minutes to warm them back up. You never want to jump into your stretching routine with cold muscles because your muscles need to be warm in order for them to be pliable so that you can stretch them safely and effectively. So please make sure that you are taking the time to stretch every day, but please make sure that you are doing so safely. But that's it. That's all I have for you today. So I hope you enjoyed this one. If you did this little 10-minute workout with me today, thank you so much. Please let me know what you thought of it and how you did. Thank you to everyone who has been working out with me lately. And even if you're not doing the workouts with me, thank you for watching the videos. Thank you for liking and sharing the videos. Thank you so much for all of your wonderful and supportive and engaging comments. It truly does mean the world to me. Thank you to all of my new subscribers. If you are not subscribed already, please subscribe. And of course, a great big thank you to those of you who have been subscribed to my channel for years. Please know that I appreciate you all so very much. One final reminder that if anything is unclear with the format of today's workout and how everything fits together, if you have questions about any of the exercises that we were doing today, if you have any doubts about how to do these exercises with the correct form, or if you need any further help with equipment-free substitutions or beginner modifications beyond what I have already provided, I am right here to help, so please ask questions if you have them. That is going to do it for today, but before I say goodbye, I just have to say one final thank you to those of you who have been watching the videos all the way until the end and commenting with the secret code phrase of the day. So before I say goodbye, I will give you today's secret code phrase of the day. It is have mercy. Uncle Jesse's catchphrase, have mercy. So if you are still watching this video, hello, thank you for watching all the way until the end. Please let me know that someone is still watching by going down to the comment section and leaving me a comment that says, have mercy. That is going to do it for today. I will see you all next time. Bye.